Well, hello guys, it is that time once again for another edition of Odds and Ends, where I read you some really weird news stories from all over the world, and hey, they call it Odds and Ends for a reason, yeah? Now, I apologize for this being relatively late, and I also apologize for me not doing this on time because of my work schedule, and I also want to apologize for the fact that I couldn't do it last week. But I was going to make a video saying if I wanted you guys to have me do a collaboration for something else to replace that edition of Odds and Ends, whether it be like a Q&A or just something totally obscene and random. But I guess I kind of got busy and sidetracked and didn't really think about that through. But so anyways, I got my source here. I'm anxious to see what's going on in the world, and I'm sure you guys are. So without further ado, let's get this going, shall we? See that? Stop the fire, stop the fire, stop the fire, stop the fire! Oh, sorry, my hands are not on fire. Oh well. Okay, moving on. Or just, let's begin. Our first story comes out of Belgium, where watch who you insult in Belgium. An anti-European Union member of the European Union Parliament has just been fined 2,980 euros or $3,864 for saying the president of the European Council, Herman Van Rompuy, has, quote, the charisma of a damp rag. The insult came following a 2010 speech in Brussels by Van Rompuy. At the time, Parliament member Nigel Farage stood up and gave his assessment of Van Rompuy's character. He also added that the council president came from, quote, pretty much a non-country. The Parliament docked Farage 10 days' pay for the insult, but he appealed to the European Court of Justice. Earlier this month, the court ruled that he had filed his appeal too late. Farage now must pay the fine and cover the Parliament's legal expenses. Yeah, I mean, if they tell you not to insult somebody and call them a, quote, damp rag, then obviously it's a law for a reason, and yet you went on and you said something that was pretty much insulting, and I'm guessing that's the reason why you gotta pay so much, and came a little too late to file your appeal to the European Court of Justice. Should have done it when this all happened the first time and not just wait until they say, oh, too late, out the window, like they don't care. Yep, that's how things work in Europe. Anyways, moving on. Our next story comes out of Kentucky, where Jessamine County resident and apparent moonshine concierge Danny Reynolds was arrested on what was either a DUI charge or a sincere attempt to become the world's biggest redneck. According to Central Kentucky's WKYT 27, Reynolds was nabbed for driving drunk on a horse. Quote, I had no idea you could be arrested for something like this, Reynolds, 55, told WKYT News. The arresting officer noted that, quote, upon a search of, parentheses, Reynolds' pockets, I located a package of rolling papers and a baggie of marijuana. As far as if that weren't enough, the officer located, quote, several beers in his saddlebag and a Manson jar which he, parentheses, Reynolds, identified as moonshine. Reynolds, who describes himself as, quote, severely diabetic, insists he was not drunk and only staggered in front of police because his blood sugar was low. According to the police report, however, Reynolds' blood alcohol level was twice the legal limit. Reynolds was charged with operating a non-motorized vehicle under the influence and with possession of marijuana. Okay, dude, let's break this down. You're drunk and you're in a public area where the law can come and arrest you for public drunkenness. Yet you're claiming, quote, low blood sugar and marijuana and moonshine and several beers. Yeah, doesn't look really good on you, dude, and it makes you suspicious of what you might be doing with that kind of stuff. So you should have thought that one a little bit better, but you are too on your horse, yeah. Don't really think that's really gonna really fly, honestly. So, should have thought that one a little bit better, dude. Honestly. But some people just don't think. Moving on, our next story comes out of Florida, where a report on WEAR3 TV in Pensacola says Oclusa County resident Jaden Hatfield is facing charges of beating her ex-boyfriend Brandon Fleming with his own leg. Fleming lost his left leg when he was 7 years old to a lawn mowing accident. Apparently things haven't gotten much better for the guy since. Fleming says he had been locked in a bitter custody battle with Hatfield over their 2-year-old son. Last month, Hatfield allegedly showed up at Fleming's house with 2 unnamed men. Quote, I went to the back room to call the law and I heard my son scream. Fleming told the Miami Herald. Quote, when I heard him scream, I came back and she was pulling him outside the window. I jumped out the window to get my son in the car. As Fleming rushed to retrieve the toddler, the unidentified man grabbed him and held him down, at which point Fleming says the baby mama grabbed his prosthetic leg off and, quote, she goes to hitting my legs with it. Fleming tried to snatch the leg back, but says Hatfield then pulled a shotgun on him. He responded by running back inside the house. Quote, I ain't scared of nothing or nobody, but I think she was crazy enough to do it. Hatfield took off with the boy, but deputies eventually caught up to her. Hatfield is charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon without intent to kill, domestic violence, battery interfering with the custody of a minor, and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. Wow. So, I don't know how you did this, dude, but you got a crazy bitch, and you guys were fighting custody of your kid. Okay, so we all know that half of all marriages end in divorce, but this technically wasn't marriage. But so she decides to steal the kid, beat your ass with a prosthetic leg. 2 guys are there that were unidentified, and then one of them pulled a shotgun on you. Really smart, lady. Real freaking smart. And with all these charges you got, especially that possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, you are looking at 25 to life. That's what I'm assuming, because I don't know the law. I don't know how things work as far as the court system goes, but that law right there, that is really harsh. That's at least maybe 10, 15, 20 years tops. I really don't know. But with all these charges, if I were to guess, and if I were a judge, I would guess 25 to life, maybe 50 years in prison. Something relatively high like that, though, but like I said, I really don't know. Plus, I don't live in the state of Florida, technically, or I don't live in the state of Florida at all, I should say. So I really can't say as far as like what's going to happen, though, but I don't know, I might do a follow-up on that one, and then again, who knows. And lastly, our final story also comes out of Florida, where equalizing the gender gap is crazy assaults in Florida. Is Michael Wayne Jones, 42, who is accused of domestic battery, strangulation, and animal abuse after allegedly beating his girlfriend with her own dog. Police in Sanford say Jones got into an argument with his girlfriend on Thursday, September 13th. The arrest report states that Jones became angry because his unnamed living girlfriend came home with her daughter, and one of the women tried to smoke some crack cocaine. According to the victim, Jones, quote, freaked out. Jones's girlfriend tried to drive away, but he allegedly tried to stop her by punching her car windshield and pulling her small pet dog out of the vehicle. After threatening to kill the dog, Jones reportedly began to beat his girlfriend with the animal. He then attempted to choke her and eventually fled the scene on his bicycle. Police soon located the suspect, who was bleeding from his right hand. He said he left the home for his own safety and insisted that he had caused no harm to the dog. Officers on the scene noted that neither the woman nor the dog suffered any serious injuries. Quote, to use, parentheses, a dog, as some sort of club device, I just don't get that. Stanford Police Lieutenant Jim McAuliffe told the Orlando Sentinel. Okay, dude. What the hell is wrong with you? You don't beat your girlfriend with a small dog. That is wrong. Alright? Because there are plenty of people out there who would want you dead for what you just did, because dogs are not to be used as objects to beat the crap out of. Look at Michael Vick. He was doing freaking dog fights. Alright? He went to jail, but eventually he got out and he went back to the NFL. But that's not going to happen to you, because you used the dog as a device to, or as a weapon to beat your girlfriend with. So, pretty sure that like every animal rights activist will want you dead for hearing this, and jail not gonna be pretty. So, surprised the dog didn't really suffer any injuries. So you're lucky, dude, because if that dog got any injuries, man, you would feel the wrath so hard from a lot of people, because I like dogs. All right, I'm a dog person. I like cats. I like animals in general. All right, I love animals, but small dogs, not really my style. But dog's a dog, and an animal is not meant to be abused, dude. You should know that by now, but obviously you don't learn, which is why you ended up in stuff like this, and you're gonna go to prison, and let's see how well you do. Well, anyways, guys, that is it for this edition of Odds and Ends, and I really hope you guys enjoy listening to those stories as much as I like reading them to you. And we will see you next week for another edition. And until next time, we will see you guys later. Anyways, guys, that is it for this edition of Odds and Ends, and I really hope you guys enjoyed listening to those stories as much as I like reading them to you. And we will see you next week for another edition, and until next time, we will see you guys later.